Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, the video today is on this 2012 Skoda Citigo with the 1 liter petrol and the famous or infamous ASG gearbox, automatic shift gearbox, which is basically a manual gearbox, electronically controlled, where the gears are engaged with and assemble with 2 electric motors, etc. The car came to me, as you might have seen on this video here, somewhere there. I will leave a link in the description below because I don't want to be here repeating what I've done on the other video. And if you really want to understand what the issue was with this car, you better go and watch that video before you watch this one. But basically, if you watch the other video, you will see that I got the car fixed, so all the gears changed, everything is fine, and I was left with one issue right at the end. And at the time, speaking with the owner, he was not too bothered with the issue. However, today when I rang him to pick up the car, he raised the question. He raised about how about to fix the problem. I didn't realize is that he wants to sell this car, and obviously he doesn't want to sell the car with that issue. And I said to him, look, I'll try to see what I can do. So speaking with some people, speaking with some people a little bit more clued on VAC cars with more experience, I was told to replace the module and reprogram the module, a new module, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, that doesn't really make much sense. Why do I need to replace the module if the module is working absolutely fine and there's only this one issue? Now, it might be worth to mention that this car actually came from Skoda themselves, and the software on this particular module is the latest software. The ECU, however, is not the latest. So apparently there is a few suffixes on the part number of this module, and this particular one is one of the first ones that came out. The newer modules, they have the same part number, but they end with a different letter, and I believe the latest one is the letter M, which is coincident with the same software part number. Anyway, so the hardware on this one is hardware 10, and I think the newer part numbers, the hardware is hardware 13. Okay, I don't know why I'm giving you this information, because it's not really relevant for what I'm going to show you here, or it might be. So anyway, after speaking to these people, they said, no, you need to replace the module, blah, blah, blah. Then I was told the coding was wrong, which we'll get to there in a second. But I was just thinking, hold on a second, the car came from Skoda themselves. The module has been clearly updated because the software is the latest software. And I thought, why, if this is all done at Skoda, everything is done online, surely it does the programming and it can do the coding straight away. Why would they leave the wrong coding? Anyway, you might be wondering exactly what the car is doing, because I actually found online, and I mentioned on the other video, I found online a few people with the same problem. And I found some of the people that couldn't resolve the problem. And then was, I think, one guy that I found on a forum that took the car back to Skoda, they fixed the problem, but he never, obviously he doesn't know, and he never mentions what was done. So once I got the go-ahead of the owner to fix it regardless, so he was happy for me to go buy another module, reprogram the module, and code the module. So once he gave me the go-ahead, that gave me the confidence, okay, let me play with this module and see what I can do. So what the car was doing, so let me explain first what the car was doing so you understand a little bit better. So let me just pause here. Okay, so I'm gonna put here on the screen, I know it's a little bit of a reflex of the other bits, but you can definitely see the D2 at the moment, and it's gonna change D3. So what the car was doing was running or driving in automatic mode, like you see now. He was driving absolutely perfect. Worth to mention, the car was driving perfect either mode. Reverse engaging fine, automatic mode like this, driving absolutely fine. Manual mode, driving absolutely perfect. The issue was, if I was, for example, now in D3, And if you watch the other video, I showed you and I explained everything, so I'm not gonna dwell too much here. But basically what I was doing was, if I was driving, like for example D3, and I would flick now to manual, the car would definitely change to manual mode, but on the screen would carry on showing D3. And what would happen was, if I would, for example, engage 4th gear in manual, I could feel the car going to 4th gear, but on the screen would be frozen on that last gear while the car was in automatic mode. So I could then, for example, if I was on D5, I could come to a stop, the car would automatically downshift to 1st gear, on the screen would carry on showing D5, and then I would take off. I would start to change gears myself, because when you are in manual, the car automatically downshifts, but it doesn't upshift automatically. So I would start driving, start to put gears up, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, on the screen would carry on showing D5. And if I was then in manual, for example in 3rd gear, and I would flick the gear lever back to D, the car would automatically update the gear and would change to D3. So basically what I was doing was freezing the screen once you would change the car into manual. But as I said, the gears were changing absolutely fine, no problems at all. So when the guy gave me the go-ahead to do whatever to fix it, he was happy to spend the money on a new module if I had to, the flashing of the module and all that good stuff. But then I thought, hold on a second, unless there is a software, unless the software update, so the new software, is incompatible with the old coding. That's what I thought, because the coding there was a coding in there, which I'll show you. I'll take you through all the coding in a second. But my thinking was, unless Skoda updated the software, and the new software version requires a different coding than the original software, because maybe the coding was different for this new software. So then I start to play with the coding, and I have it here on paper, which I will show you. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've tried, actually I didn't try a lot, because what I've realized was changing the second bit of coding, the second, yeah, I think it was the second, would give me engine, ECM, TCM incompatibility codes. And then, guys, you know, on the other video you've seen, I flashed the module and everything with different softwares, and I think it was all about the coding in the end. But I didn't want to go and reflash the module and leave an old software, because surely if Skoda or Volkswagen released a new software, it surely is to improve things or to look at parameters slightly different, and I didn't want to go back to an old software that could start to raise other problems. Anyway, so after playing a little bit of coding and start to understand what each change was doing, I ended up to find the correct coding. And I'm really happy to show you now that I'm going to flick the car to manual, and what should happen is exactly what you're going to see, which is this. So the D disappears, as you can see, and only the gear number stays there. And now if I go to 4th gear, the car changed to 4th gear. And now if I go to, I mean, get a little bit of speed, if I go to 5th gear, the car goes to 5th gear. Okay, and now if I go to drive, to manual automatic mode, the car just sticks the D in there to tell me it's in drive. If I go back to manual, the car shows me the 5. If I go to 4th, 3rd, if I don't touch anything and I just slow down, the car, as you're going to see, automatically downshifts to 1st. If I come to a stop, obviously. And now I'm going to take off again, and the car will stay in 1st. Now the car will not shift, will not upshift, so it will stay there until I do 2nd, and now I go 3rd, and now I go, oops, not enough speed, now I go 4th, and now I go drive, D4, there it is. So now everything is working the way it should, and in the end was just the coding. So now I'm gonna stop here, guys, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I've done with the coding. So let me see if I can take the phone without stop recording. There we go. So let me take this phone out, stop recording. I don't have a lot of fuel left anyway. So what I've done with the coating, guys, was the following. So my idea was to start, so my idea at the start, when I start this morning, try to fix this, I was willing to go and reflash the first software again. I've tried this already on the other video, but I was not too focused on this, to be honest with you, because my priority was fix the gearbox. So I attempted a little bit, but I didn't waste too much time, to be honest with you. But I was willing to go back. I actually have it here. Was ready to go, the Odis laptop. I was ready to start to flash the first software that I had for this, and then start to play with the coding until I could get it to work. But I thought, I don't want to do that. If I can get this to work with the latest software that is already installed, the better, because latest software, improvements and all that good stuff. So this is the software I have on the car, OCT 27750M, and then you have the other numbers here, other letters at the end, that is for different softwares. And then the coding that was there was this coding here, 010020, and I had no manual mode. I mean, I had manual mode, but it wouldn't show on the screen, and I had no codes. Okay, so that was my issue. Then I tried 000120, and I get the M, but ECM incompatibility. So what I've done is I've changed both here at the same time. So I flick this around. So one of these codings here, one of these bits was the one that was telling the TCM which ECM you have installed. Then I thought, okay, let me go 0101, and then I get M mode and I get ECM incompatibility. So I thought, let me try 0000, and look at that. So the coding on the module at the moment is 000020, and I can show you that on the maxi sys. Let me just get the maxi sys up here. I have the maxi sys here now, but I will show you. Transmission control module. ECU information. So that's my VAC number, that's my software number, and I will show you in a minute that this is the old module. Where is it? So there is software coding 000020. Okay, version 160. And then if I scroll this down, you're going to see there actually hardware number, which ends on an A. And I believe the latest hardware is hardware 13, and the part number ends with an M letter at the end. Okay, and that's what VAC experts were telling me to do. Not VAC experts, but people with more experience, I'm guessing. They were telling me to just install another module, blah 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 blah. Admittedly, they also said you must have the wrong coding though. It was just puzzling me that the car came from Skoda, they updated the module and they left the wrong coding, which is just amazing. Why they would do that. But in the end, guys, we got there, so we got it fixed, as you have seen, and the car now is ready to be delivered, fully fixed, with no other issues. So car is driving fine, and please watch the other video if you really want to know what the problem was with the car, if you are interested. And that's it, car fixed, and I'm sure the owner is going to be really happy, and I need to drive home before I'm left with no fuel. Right, so with no further ado, I'm going to drive back home now. It's going to rain today probably. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, I'm going to drive back home, guys, and that's it for this video. So with no further ado, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I really hope maybe you learned something. Who knows? If you do still have any questions or any comments, you know exactly how it works, just put them below. And like always, thank you for watching.